Welcome to Hope Academy. My name is Mr. O, and today I'm going to be going over a new series for the ACT Math Practice Exams, specifically Practice Exam 1 that's provided on the ACT website. I will also provide the link below in the description. And so when I am going through these problems, I do want to mention that for specifically the ACT, graphing calculators are not allowed on the exam. And so most of the times I'll just be using this old scientific calculator like this one right here, just for all the problems that I'll be doing, just to sort of reiterate how the process goes. Usually when I'm doing these problems, I go over them quickly, and then I explain in depth how I did the problem so quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So for number 1. Okay. Okay, so my final answer for number 1 is D, and now I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how I was able to do this question. So when I was doing this question, I noticed right off, it mentions that the car is going around 27 miles per gallon, and that the gas costs $4.04 per gallon, and they say which the following if it travels 2,727 miles. Okay, so these are the 3 key things that they mention. And so right off the bat, the first thing that I personally noticed that I needed to do was that I needed to convert this to gallon values. The reason why is because by figuring out how much gallons that this car has went throughout this whole distance, could I then solve for the 4.04 value to sort of help me solve this out. And so when I'm doing this type of question right here, now the 2,727 miles, I did on the calculator was just simply did 2,727 divided by 27, or aka times gallon over 27 miles. And the reason why I'm showing it very broken down like this is because you must recognize the fact that when I did 2727 divided by 27, it canceled out my miles units. And thus, when I did 2727 divided by 27, and now I'm going to bring the old scientific calculator out, 2727 divided by 27, I end up getting 101. And that means there's 101 gallons. Afterwards, the question's not asking me for the amount of gallons, it's asking me how much did it cost me. And so simply, I just need to do to finish this is the $4.04 per gallon times 101, which I did right here, times 101. And, whoops, sorry about that. No, I wasn't supposed to do that. I was supposed to do first 4.04 times 101 gallons. And I got $408.04. And that's how I got my final answer for number 1. Okay, and now to continue on to number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and move this up so you can see it. So number 2, when x equals to 3, how much does the value? Okay. So 3 times 3 is 27, 27 minus 10 equals to 17. Okay. 13 minus 18, 18 minus 15 equals to 3, so 14. Okay, so for number 2, my final answer for this question is going to be G. And now I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how I was able to get to this answer. So for this type of question, the main goal you're supposed to do is replace all the x's with 3 and all the y's with 5. That's sort of the purpose of this question. And so what I simply did was that I noticed that the main 2 questions, and now I'm going to move this out of the way. So the main 2 things I noticed was this. It stated that it's 3x squared minus 2y, and they had another equation that was 2x squared minus 3y. And so what I simply did was I did 3 parentheses, and since x equals to 3, I replaced it with 3 inside this. As you notice, the x is 3 squared minus 2, and y equals to 5. And so I simply have to do that and solve it out. Okay? And the same thing down here. What I did was I plugged in x as 3 once again. Oops, I'm doing these in the wrong colors. It's okay. Minus 3 times 5. And so making sure that you follow the PEMDAS rules and so on, what actually occurs is that when you do PEMDAS rules right here, I got this value right here, and I'm going to go ahead and show that in a different color. I got that this value, that 27 I got when I was computing it, and I sort of mental math this real quick, ends up being this part right here. And I also noticed was that I found out that negative 2 times 5 will end up becoming my 10 right here. And that's how I got 17. And then so on, when I did this work right here, it's 2 times 3 squared, following PEMDAS rules, will end up becoming 18, because 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, and negative 3 times 5 will be 15, and I got 3. Afterwards, I simply did was that I worked the 17 minus 3, because they're asking for how much does it exceed the value. So 17 minus 3 will be 14, and thus how for number 2, I got the answer of G. And that concludes my explanation for number 2. So continue on to for the last question that I'll be covering for today, number 3. So number 3, it says this. What is the value of x when 2x plus 3 equals 3x minus 4? Okay. So it states this. It's over here. Plus 4, 7. Okay. So for number 3, my final answer is E. And now I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how I was able to get to this answer. So for this question, what we needed to do was to look for like terms, okay? And I'm going to actually write that term out right now. So like terms. What I mean by that is that I need to make sure that I move all the variables to one side, all the constants to the other side. And so for this particular question, what happens is that when I have 2x plus 3 equals to 3x minus 4, I understood right off that I needed to move all the variables to one side. So I personally did was I moved all the variables to one side, and then what happens is that this cancels out. 3 minus 2 will be x minus 4 equals to 3, and then as I mentioned before, you move all the constants to the other side. So plus 4, 7 equals to x, and thus how I was able to get to the answer of E. And this concludes my explanations for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll continue to make content like this. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, or feel free to leave a comment below, since I noticed that some people did request for me to start teaching the ACT topics. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.